If it's a tax write-off, it's government funded. So at the end of the day, man, like it's to the point where looking at we got to start looking at what's happening in the world and say, okay, we have a problem right now. People are struggling to fill their grocery baskets, and it's unfortunate. And a lot of companies have taken a blow, because if you look at companies like Starbucks, you look at all these companies where you have these, I guess you would call luxury items, that we once could just, buy and have no problem buying those things. Those things are taking a hit now because people just can't afford them. So where a person might went to Starbucks, 5 days a week, can't do it no more. You know what I'm saying? So you got to push that back. Say, shit, I might be able to do it once or twice. So they're losing money, right there. And then with items that we purchase in stores, that's taking a hit. Everything is taking a hit. Everything is taking a hit right now. And I think, like I said, when it comes to this presidential election and seeing what people really are worried about, number one, economy, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? Number two, amazingly, is immigration. And I get that too. Did you watch the debate yesterday?
Man, I completely didn't talk about it
Okay.
or didn't watch it because I kind of counted on you to have watched it and brought me to the to what I think. I kind
Right.
of watched the reactions and like let it
Hmm.
played it in the background because like let me say this, man. I don't you and I have talked offline
Right.
and we don't put a whole lot of stock into these debates. People have already chosen who they're going to vote for, and the debate is really for people that hasn't picked a side yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So the vice president that's the truth for the presidential debate. So
Right.
the vice presidential debate is half of that, you know what I'm saying, right in front of you, because
Right. Right.
if you're already running with who you're running with, how much impact does the vice president truly have for the person that's deciding to cast a ballot for whatever
Right.
political party they got?
Mm.
Um, and in most cases, I saw where people kind of like broke even on who won or whatever,
Right.
right?
Right.
Which means it's really more of in favor of Trump, right? Like
Right.
anything breaking even right now is in
Right.
favor of Trump
Right.
because you already got Democrats in office.
Right.
You can't break even. You got to knock them out. You got to
Hmm.
expose them. You got to be overwhelming in presentation of information for people to actually think about.
Hmm.
But I haven't seen either side go home leaving their audience with something else to consider before they say, you know what, man, he said something or she said something or he said something and he said something that I gotta reconsider before casting my ballot. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So like I watched a couple different news sources today, read a couple articles, and I intentionally didn't watch it
Hmm.
because after the presidential debate was done, like I hadn't seen Trump lose any steam from his presentation.
Yeah.
I haven't seen any loss of steam from either side because the reality is this: Kamala is a prosecutor, so
Right.
I expect her to be able to compel her audience to side with her. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the
Hmm.
majority of people that are regular private citizens are going to need a defender, not a prosecutor.
Right. 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 Get it.
So, like watching, I think that the vice presidential debate was very very useful for JD Vance going forward in the future because I do believe that he can run for office without problem. I
Hmm.
think he can win. You know what I'm saying? The next Republican seat when it comes down to it. When it comes down to potentially him running for office, because
Hmm.
why would you sign up to be a vice president if you're not trying to be groomed to run for office someday?
Oh
You
yeah,
know,
and he will definitely be that. He would definitely be that, because if you watched that debate yesterday, you see he is insanely sharp.
Yeah,
I'm
look,
talking about insanely
hey, hey,
sharp,
hey,
dude.
hey, let me say something. The dude's a veteran.
Yeah,
I'm not a
yeah.
Republican. I am a black man that votes in interest of what makes sense. That's just
Mm-hmm.
it. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? I'm not loyal to no particular party and nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? If it makes sense and he represents my interest, that's who gets my vote.
Right, right,
Period.
right. And I'll show you this right here. These are new numbers. I just said, like I said, number one was the economy.
Look,
Number two was
hang on a second.
what was like I said, illegal immigration. These numbers right here are crazy. Like, so this is AP, right? So this is a reputable source. Included in the figures of people not detained by ICE were people found guilty of very serious crimes. 13,000 people who crossed the border legally were people who were convicted of homicide. 13,000 were released into the United States that killed somebody. 15,811. So let's just say 16,000 who crossed the border illegally were convicted of sexual assault. 13,000 for weapons offenses, 2,000 for stolen vehicles. The single biggest category was for traffic related offenses with 77,000, followed by assault, 62,000, dangerous drugs, 56,000. So, you know, when you look at those numbers, dude, and we say that we released 13,000 people who killed somebody in their land of origin, that's sick. And that right there crushed Kamala the other day when this was released. This was released 3 days ago, and see, CNN, MSNBC, they're not trying to release this type of information. They're making people read this stuff. People, they take the lazy way and go to the news stations and just watch it there. But there's a lot of reputable sources out here that you got to read, and you have to read things like this, and you're like, Jesus Christ. Overall, 425,000 illegal migrants have committed a crime, but in their country of origin, those crimes have not been, settled. So it's kind of like up in the air. You know what I'm saying? So this is
Wow.
right.
That's really wild, man. When you think about it in the sense
Yeah.
of like, like what do you do with that information?
What do you do with that information? Right, right,
Mhm.
right. So, and the thing is that's what we know. That's what we
Yeah,
know.
that's just what's been
You know,
reported.
that's what's been reported. That's not
That's
the
not
whole.
that's not the whole story.
No, no. Now check this out. This is the crazy thing. If you watched the debate yesterday, JD Vance went on and said that 25 that they know of 25,000 illegal immigrants that crossed the border. 25,000. So the thing is that I thought that number was 11,000. And the thing is that when he said 25,000, MSNBC didn't fact check him. So what does that say?
What does that really mean?
Right, right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I mean, when you say 25 million people have crossed the border and MSNBC doesn't fact check JD Vance, and they were fact checking him like they were fact checking Trump when Trump was doing his thing on CNN. So the thing is that you didn't fact check him on that. So there must be some type of truth behind that. So the thing is that the reason why another reason why JD Vance brought up the illegal immigration thing was they were talking about housing, and they brought up the number. I want to say 4 million housing units short. I want to say 4 million. Hold on, let me look this up. 4 million housing units short.
Yeah.
I want to say it was 4 million. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Okay. So I'm gonna share this. Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead,
And so
talking point.
right, right. So this was a very good this is a very good question asked by MSNBC, and they were asking about the United States is short 4.5 million homes. So housing demand, the number of families in the U.S. increased by 1.8 in 2022, while only 1.4 houses housing units were built. So check this out. What am I going to say right here, Vic? If you have a housing shortage of 4.5 million houses and you just let 25 million across the border,
I'm going to leave some sort of allocation account for them to offset that.
let's take it down to 11 million.
Let-
That we know
That
there's
we know.
11 million. We know 11 million came across the border. Now it says right here, it says he says the U.S. population increased by 1.8 million in 2022, while only 1.4 million housing units were built. So if you let 11 million over here, and we're talking if Kamala gets if Kamala
That's like
if
100
Kamala
That's like 110% increase, right?
right, so the thing is like this. So let's say Kamala, she gets in the office, and I'm not saying that Kamala is going to give amnesty to all these people. I'm not saying that. But let's say that Kamala gives amnesty to 5 million. You just set yourself back even further with your housing shortage. So what's going to happen to the price of houses? It's going to go even higher.
After the last show that we did, we chopped it up for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
Talked about the inventory,
Right.
And how that affects and impacts where you choose to spend your money.
Yeah.
The type of property you go after, the neighborhood, the zip code, it affects everything.
It does.
You know what I'm saying? And here we are, yet and still having this discussion, because ultimately it impacts on it hits so many different levels that a lot of people can't understand it if they're not in the conversation when it comes down to what it takes to be an investor, what it takes to be deliberate about setting up your family for a certain type of legacy and outcome, right?
Right.
Because the discussion has always been about, like own some stuff so you have something to pass down, to people,
Right. And that's where I will say this. And we talked about this, and this is the reason why I say I can't be 100% against Kamala, because there is a business aspect to this. Okay, for the people who want to take advantage of those, let's say 5 million people that she's going to grant amnesty to, right? For those people that are going to come over and become, they're already over here. Those people that are going to become American citizens, there are going to be 5 million, more houses that need to be built. So those people who want to get into the house building market, there's a good opportunity there. We talked about that, right?
Yep.
There's a great opportunity there. So, and we're talking about, the Democrats talking about using federal land, so both, actually, it's not just Democrats, but Republicans and Democrats were talking about using federal land. And I love that idea from both parties. I love that idea, because all this land out here, we're not using it, and it's just federal land. It's useless land. I don't like that, Now, the thing is that most of that will be found in the Midwest. You're not going to find a lot of that on the East Coast. You're probably not going to find a lot of it on the West Coast. There's a lot of land out there, but it's owned, so there's a problem with that. But like I said, there is a great opportunity for people who want to get into that type of business and say, okay, we got to do the research and figure out how to start building houses ground up. So it's going to be to the advantage of the Latinos because they already know how to do it. As far as the physical labor part of it,
I see some cats sleeping up underneath the truck, taking an hour break, bro, like while walking the dog.
Bro, look, so what I'm saying is like this. So when you look at, in my area, Roanoke, Virginia, and you look at who's doing what to houses, whether that's upgrading or building houses or just plain construction, whatever, you're seeing a whole lot of the Latino community doing that. And they do great work. We can't take that away from them. They do great work. It's not their fault that we told our children back in the day, say, hey, you need to get a college education. That's the only way to be successful. Forget the trade skills, the electrician, plumbing, building houses, carpentry, all that. Forget all that. We need to just get our degree and become permanent workers for someone else is what we need to do. That's what we were told. It's not their fault that we were told that and we fell for the okie doke. Unfortunately, they are in a great position. Latino people are in a great position to make a lot of money, especially the educated Latinos and the Latinos who already have all their citizenship and all that stuff to get the ball rolling, so it's yeah, I mean, when I watched that on that debate, I was like, yeah, it's a good opportunity for people who know what they're doing. But unfortunately, you do have problems like in Pittsburgh, and I'm not talking about Springfield, any of that crazy stuff. I'm not going to get into the eating the cats and dogs and stuff like that because it's just stupid to talk about. But what I'm talking about is you have. Is there a reason why that screen changed? Oh, okay, yeah, okay, but yeah, I'm talking about the people who have small towns of 50,000 and they got this influx of Haitian migrants of 20,000. So they got 20,000 on top of that 50,000. Now their infrastructures are just overwhelmed. The system is overwhelmed completely because it's not used to that. It's not used to a 70,000 population city. It was only used to a 50,000 population city. That's just like my city, sits right under 100,000. Let's say that somebody just dumped 30,000, migrants here. There's some things that's going to change. Traffic pattern, hospitals. I already hear from people who work in the hospital.
Organic resources.
That's
period.
exactly what's hurting. So people don't get that. People don't get, like, if you talk to a hospital worker and they're taking people in to register them and they're not American, they don't speak English. They got to sit there with a Google phone and translate between each other. And I mean, that slows down the process. It's a whole lot of stuff that's slowing down a whole lot of things and hurting a whole lot of things. So people need to understand that, man.
Man, I brought that other screen up because I'm going to talk about C. Dolores Tucker, because everything that you just highlighted right now, is what we've been concerned with.
Right.
And we also have to address things that have always been an issue that also impact the decision making that we got right now based on our current climate.
Right.
Because I like to look at the present, the past, and the future. We're already in the future of the things that was predicted back in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, like, I want to give homage to C. Dolores Tucker, and this is the clip, the footage that I didn't
get into. Let's go ahead. Let's get into it. All right.
I got it. Hang on. Let me bring this up real quick. Can you hear it?
No, I can't hear it.
Hang on a second. Let me pull that out for a minute.
Yeah,
man. Like I wanted to be able to bring that up. On a second.
All right, I'm here. Yeah, but Dolores Tucker, she forewarned us a long time ago. That beautiful Black queen forewarned us a long time ago about hip hop. I got a lot to say about hip hop, man, because I'm gonna see if I can bring some people into this discussion that I know who loves hip hop and see if I can get them to talking, man, because this is a subject that you definitely want to have some hip hop heads in, let's see here.
Yeah, man, bring them up, man. You know what I'm saying? Because like last week I tried to play the video and they weren't participating. You know what I'm saying? As a matter of fact, I'm gonna bring. Look who we got today. We got old Antoine right there. You know what I'm saying? He finally made it in. He gonna get his round of applause. Yeah, look, you don't get your. I just want to give you your flowers real quick. I'm gonna play this video. We're gonna get back to it, okay? Let's see here.
Who has had a distinguished political career in her own right and has of late been taking the lead on this issue of violence against women, C. Dolores Tucker. Let's bring on.
First of all, I want to say that Reverend Jesse Jackson and the National Rainbow Coalition are to be commended for their foresight in addressing the number one domestic problem in this nation, violence in America. The National Political Congress of Black Women is a nonprofit, nonpartisan organization created in 1984 at the suggestion of Reverend Jackson at the 1984 Democratic National Convention to empower African American women economically and politically. Its founding members do include some of the most prominent and concerned women in America, including Mary Berry and Dr. Dorothy Height, our mayor of this city, Alexis Sherman, Dr. Gloria A. Toote, Jewel Jackson McCabe, Reverend Willie Barrow, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, Eleanor Holmes Norton, Curtis Collins, and Congresswoman Barbara Rose Collins. We embrace and salute the goals of this conference. Today, we have all come together to join forces to address the issue of violence in the nation. A violence which has decimated our communities, devastated our families, and destroyed the souls of so many of our youth. It is imperative that we stop the agendas that are not too relevant as this, that we stop pondering over the issue of space exploration, that we stop debating whose diary we should publicize, that we stop arguing over what choices each lifestyle has. For today, we must be serious about this serious situation, this plague, this death to our society. Our greatest fear right here in America is not from hurricanes or earthquakes, not from disease or war, but from violence one against the other. We must understand clearly that violence comes in many forms and is acted upon by many sources. Whether we are talking about physical violence, spiritual violence, economic violence, or sexual violence, the end result is the same, the destruction of human life. Enough is enough. And I'd like someone to bring me what made me say enough is enough. Where's my graphic? Bring it up here, please, somebody. I am here to put the nation on notice that violence perpetuated against women through the music industry in the forms of gangster rap and misogynist lyrics will not be tolerated any longer. Principle must come before profit. A year ago, I established the National Political Congress of Black Women's Entertainment Commission.
Pause it. Principle must come before profit.
Come on, talk about it. Hey,
did you hear what the hell she said?
I would say, hey, look, you stop it every time you hear something you need to speak on. You stop.
Principle comes before profit. We lost that. We lost that completely. We lost that completely. Who's sitting right beside her? Jordan Bell. Play it again. I want to see. This is my boy Jordan Bell. He is a activist here in Roanoke, Virginia, man. Does great work with kids and everything. Who's sitting right beside? I can't see it. Who is that? You tell me who that is, Jordan, because I can't make out from the side.
Yeah, Jordan, who is that?
Go ahead and keep playing it. He'll say it.
All right. Hang on a second. Let's go.
A year ago, I established the National Political Congress of Black Women's Entertainment Commission, headed by Dionne Warwick, Melba Moore, Terry Rossi of Billboard magazine, and Vaughn Alexander, our director. It had one primary goal: the task of examining and developing strategies and solutions for reshaping and maintaining positive images to preserve the dignity and the heritage of our youth. Instead of continuously exposing our youth to negative media that distorts their images of male-female relationships, that undermines the stability of our families, communities, and nation by encouraging violence, abuse, and sexism as acceptable behaviors, and perpetuates the cycle of low self-esteem of African American youth. Thus, images that degrade our dignity and are an insult to our children, our families, and communities concern us too. And that includes all this gangster rap and misogynist lyrics. Music that glorifies and promotes violence with guns, knives, or drugs, and denigrates and defames women. And with the release of Snoop Doggy Dogg's debut album, Doggy Style, that includes artwork that is nothing but pornographic smut, available to any child to go in and buy with the album and with a record. That has got to stop. You want to know why I'm on the warpath? When I saw this, I said, that's it. We march again, and we're going to keep on marching and demonstrating the truth. For 400
Stop it for a
years,
second. Stop it
prophet
for a
came
second.
before-
So Jordan, whose damn mic is making that much sound?
I don't know.
Yeah, but anyway, so Jordan Bell did say that was Betty Shabazz, which I recognized once he said it. I was like, oh yeah, that is Betty Shabazz right there. So the wife of the late great Malcolm X, and he also said Tupac disrespected this elder. I remember that video. I remember
did too.
when
I
Tupac
definitely
did
do.
that, bro.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Right, Wayne, what you just said. Interesting that Snoop became America's black uncle.
Everybody got room for Snoop in their house, right?
Bro, everybody got room for Snoop in their house, man. When the Olympics were going on and I was seeing what was going on there, I was like, this is crazy. Like, they got this, they love this guy. They love this guy, man. But go ahead and keep playing it, man.
Principle, as black women bore the brunt of slave masters' degradation. But even through the Middle Passage, the peculiar institution of slavery, the spirit of black women and their families could not be broken. Today, however, through the lyrics of rappers who display no respect for women, no respect for families, and little respect for themselves, the souls of our sisters are being destroyed, and so too their progeny. All of us have watched as the industry have grown. We have watched not really knowing, not really understanding, not first realizing the damage that is inherent in what some thought were merely words. Now we see the direct and indirect effects. We see the rise in murders, in abuse, in batterings, teen prostitution, and teen suicide. We hear the wailing mothers, the grieving sisters, the tormented brothers and fathers and children planning their own funerals with pink dresses and pink caskets. We feel their hopelessness and helplessness, and we embrace their pain. Yet in the midst of these tragedies, others still want to argue about the First Amendment right to freedom of speech, a freedom they have embraced to call African American women hoes and bitches and sluts and even worse. As I see it, there are three things wrong with gangster rap and misogynist lyrics. It is obscene, it is obscene, it is obscene. In my view, it was never intended by the founding fathers of this nation that First Amendment rights were meant to protect obscenities. And if there were founding mothers, it would have been more explicit about what the First Amendment meant. Obscenity.
Yes, ma'am.
Obscenity has long been an exemption. Obscenity, and we have the Attorney General here, I believe it's right. Obscenity has long been an exception to free speech. If the filth that is portrayed in these gangster rap videos and art is not obscene, then I submit that nothing is obscene. In 1992, the Canadian Supreme Court ruled that it was more important to ban speech that is dehumanizing to women than to protect free speech. African American women have always been the protected nurturers of their homes, their families, and their communities. We march for our rights to Selma. I was there with Dr. King. We're beaten with billy clubs and we're bitten with dogs unleashed by Bull Connors. We will not tolerate injustice and insults from our worst enemies then, and we sure ain't gonna accept insults from our youth now.
All right. Okay.
Although the MPCBW condemns the actions of those young people who produce such music, we also realize that we must provide other channels for them to use these multiple talents they have in a positive and wholesome way. After all, they are not the root causes of the complex socioeconomic forces that are manifested in such vile entertainment. Those problems were there long before many of them were born. Those problems must be addressed if the communities that produce those gangster rappers are to survive and thrive. We know some of the problems, and now on behalf of NPCBW, I will offer up some solutions so that we can help turn this nation around and communities around. First of all, we must use all means possible to eradicate and ban the sale of illegal guns. We must remove guns from the hands of our children and our gangsters who are so proud of the power of the gun. That's number one. Number two, we must reinvent our educational system to include more vocational training to provide a successful transition between school and work for those who will not continue to go on to college. We must extend the school hours in the school year.
When was this? This is 93?
I think it's like 1993.
It says Gangsta Rap 1993, bro.
Yeah.
She was saying this in 1993.
That's just when it was published. It's no telling how.
Yeah, so we all know how well that march went.
Right?
We all know how well that march went.
Dude, she said, "Hey, we need to not just concentrate on college education. We need to concentrate on vocational skills."
Yeah,
she said this in 1993, bro.
Like
Dude,
even
Harari has been talking since the 70s. What are you talking about?
like even removing the guns from the situation is like this right here. Guns
Bro.
ain't never going nowhere.
Bro. So let me say something real quick, Vic. So I see that we got some people on here that are tuning in. We got Jordan Bell, we got Wayne Hancock. Both these are brothers of mine from my city. Wayne is involved in the musical industry completely. You know, he trained up a guy named what's his name? Shit, damn! I'm gonna get killed for not knowing. 808 Ray. So 808 Ray, he's done some beautiful things, won some Grammys and everything, man. So, and he's locally from my city as well. So, like I said, Wayne knows a whole lot about the music industry, the ins and outs of the music industry. Like I said, Jordan Bell, just being around the insane amount of kids that he's around, he can see how music has impacted the youth, you know, over the years, because he's always been involved with kids. So at the end of the day, like, if you guys want to jump on, Vic, if you would share that link.
It's in the comments. I'll
Share it one more time. Share it one more time. Please share it one more time. So if you guys want to join in the conversation, Wayne, Jordan, Amberly, any of you guys want to join in the conversation, click that link and join in this conversation, man, because this is a conversation that needs to be had. You know, and more than one time. Shouldn't just be tonight. This should be a conversation that's completely had. You guys can join it. Look at the link that was just displayed there. Click on it, and Vic will let you in, because this is his show. This is his thing. But go ahead and keep going with it.
Yep.
Here, so that latchkey children teachers will be from their schools instead of from the street. We must provide educational opportunities for our prisoners so that they will be productive citizens when their tour of prison is over. I met with Senator Carol Mosley Braun, and I was very pleased to amend what she was introducing to the Senate, not only educational opportunities, but training opportunities as well. And she has proposed mandated training for all prisoners in education.
Now,
We must provide.
see, Dolores, now you don't have to say everything you want to say this time. You'll get to talk
Well,
again.
I've just got one more page, and when I finish, I wait a long time to come, and let me just finish it. Please.
Okay, well, if you
I only got
move it up,
one more
okay?
little page here.
All right.
To provide community outreaches so that our youth who have embraced the gangs as their only family will find refuge in community institutions, neighborhood academies, and educational programs. Convert our unused military bases into institutions of peace. where men and women can be trained to become productive citizens who will contribute to the well-being of this nation, expand our nation's infrastructure where needed, and make this nation a powerful global force. I stand before you today with millions of my sisters to say that no one has the right to degrade, denigrate, dishonor, or disrespect African American women. No one has a right to poison our children's mind and destroy our African cultural heritage. That is why the women of NPCBW and our supporters will demonstrate. We'll go to jail again and again and again, just as we did when we demonstrated at the Wiz in December and Sam Goody yesterday. No one and no industry will be allowed to continue this social and psychological genocide of the women and girls of this nation. Stand before you today with the spirits of Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, Fannie Lou Hamer, and Mary McLeod Bethune to say this: we will defy any force that will disrespect us and our families. And I apologize, Mary Berry, my good friend and founder.
Man. And Wayne Hancock, he said, you know, this talk is since 60s and 70s. True. So at that point in the 60s and the 70s, you know, we definitely know that there was some type of propaganda out there that was, you know, geared to the demise of black people. No doubt. You're telling the truth on that. But, you know, hip hop or gangster rap, we'll say, we're not going to say hip hop. Let's kind of separate the two, you know,
like that's what I wanted to say. Like hip hop is the umbrella.
right.
And then underneath that, you got rap music. Then you got gangster rap.
Conscious rap.
You got conscious rap. Like it grew bigger than what people thought it was going to grow into.
Absolutely.
You know, hip hop itself was just the culture of it. Everything associated with rap is wrapped into what hip hop culture is, right?
Mm-hmm.
But preferences define genre and culture. You know what I'm saying? Preferences define what you're a fan of. You know,
Right.
like people that like rock music, they might like Metallica, but they may not like Fall Out Boy. They may not like Coldplay. They, you know what I'm saying? But it's still considered to be rock. So underneath this umbrella, we have to do a better job of defining the genre that has the most influence and what our opinions of it is, you know?
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's like in the industry, as far as like entertainment and from a consumer mindset, there's people that listen to music that condones popping pills and doing strange drugs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Now you're starting to see that. Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's a genre of the same music that condones selling drugs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a genre of the music that condones whatever behavior makes sense to its consumer, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because art imitates life and life imitates art. We have to do a better job of defining that. You know what I'm saying? So even when they're talking about gangster rap, that don't include Lupe Fiasco.
No.
That don't include Kendrick Lamar.
No.
That don't include Drake. That don't include, you know what I'm saying? Most people's favorite artists don't even fall into that category. You know?
So here's my thing. We had an option to what we wanted to listen to. You know, if you wanted to listen to Snoop, or you wanted to listen to NWA, you wanted to listen to Pac, you wanted to listen to just what I would call reckless music, right? Or some people would call gangster music. You know, we had a balance there. You know, you could escape that and say, you know what, I don't feel too reckless today. I don't really want to listen to this. I want to go ahead and go with Nas, Common, you know, someone like that. You know, some conscious rap, Talib Kweli, conscious rap. Or you just might want to go into the underground itself and go to rappers that weren't very well known and hear some conscious rap. Here's some real stuff, right? So, I mean, we had that balance. Can you say that today that these kids have that same balance? Like, I don't know of any conscious rappers that these kids are listening to. Wayne might know of some rappers that these kids are listening to because he's in that culture. If you do know that, Wayne, please put it in the comments so we can see it. And by the way, Jordan Bell, I see that YouTube link that you sent. I put that up in there, and that's like a 3-hour YouTube video. I don't know if you want to take me to a specific spot, but we ain't gonna watch 3-hour video. All right, go ahead, Vic.
No, that's the end of the video, man. Like, look, you know, I want to bring Antoine back to this because, you know, he had his thoughts on this, and the last time we were live, we didn't get a chance to get your opinion on it. So I wanted to make sure I had the video playing. Antoine didn't know anything about C. Dolores Tucker, and I wanted to make sure that I got you guys to have a conversation about it. So I'm gonna let you guys have it.
Okay, and like I said, you know, when it comes to hip hop, like you said, the umbrella, hip hop in itself is I don't feel like that was the destruction of black people. It's those things underneath there that Dolores Tucker was talking about. And when we talk about gangster culture, when we talking about demeaning and degrading our women, things like that, that is when, you know, things started to change a whole lot. Why do we have this culture that we have today where our family structure is completely out of whack, you know? So at the end of the day, I mean, that's it. I can't say that category under hip hop is completely responsible for that. There's a lot of things that go into that. And like I said, I always tell you guys about propaganda when it comes to music or when it comes to movies. I think the music and movie industry, both of them, have done a crazy good job of disconnecting black men from black women. As Wayne would say right here, social conditioning. So it's done a wonderful job doing that, you know, and it's unfortunate. We could say what we want to. We could say, well, hip hop doesn't have an impact on kids and how kids think. Okay, if that's the case, and you say it's all environmental, right? Why are there gangbangers living in gated communities? You have to ask yourself that question. No kid in the gated community is living within a horrible situation. We're talking about no food, no mom, no dad at home, you know, just living in the world's worst condition. You can't say that in a gated community. I mean, you're living in a pretty nice, you know, spot. Not saying that everything in a gated community is perfect, but how do you get a gangster out of a gated community? That's crazy as hell. You can't say it's environmental at that point. At some point, something had to come through the ears and eyes of this kid to say, hey, I want to go out here and shoot somebody. To give you an example, I know people right now, kids right now, that have both parents at home, that have supportive parents. The parents have done a great job raising them. However, those kids are behaving in a reckless way, and it worries their parents to the point where they may be getting money ready for their kid's burial. And that's unfortunate, you know. And like I said, these are great parents. So everybody keeps saying that, oh, it starts at home, it's environmental. Nah, this thing that we call hip hop right here has, or gangster rap here, has some power. You know, it has power over youth. It has power over the youth's mental capacity. It has power over that. You know, what's Wayne saying? He said, I was talking about this earlier today. It's cool to be associated with degenerate shit, conditioning. Right. And see, and that's the thing. You know, when you have all this music coming out and it's repetitive, all this crazy degenerate shit coming out and it's repetitive, you know, it's conditioning. You're conditioning kids to think a certain way, you know. And the thing is, like Dolores Tucker said, you know, so Canada, they said that, yeah, you got freedom of speech, but you can't just sit here and degrade women and make women into the damn enemy and get them attacked out here. You have to have some type of limitation towards that. I'll give you an example of how the United States did that at a time. Trump, after the January 6th attack on the White House, they completely deleted him digitally off the internet, completely, because they said he was a threat to American society. So the thing is that if you're okay with doing that to Donald Trump because his messaging is a threat to American society, why are you not doing this with this music that's out here? Why are you not doing this with this drill music out here?
Because there was a female artist that was getting a lot of attention that got murked.
I got you, Wayne.
Yeah, and then like even Antoine was on an episode when we was talking about, you know, like messaging. At what point does it become radicalism? You see, like without social media, we didn't have the term radicalism, but
Right.
like now we do because they don't need record labels to gain a whole lot of traction.
Right.
So now
Right.
you use social media, and if you got 20,000 subscribers organically,
Mm-hmm.
anything you put out is going to impact them times
Absolutely.
4.
Absolutely.
So I believe that's another multiplier because
Can I speak on this before you finish on this? Because Wayne just bought something up, man, and I really want to speak on
Go ahead,
this.
let me pull it
I don't
up.
know if you see it in the bring it, please bring it up on the screen
Talking
right
about the
here.
hip hop and the video games.
Yeah, yes, Wayne, you are 100% correct. And I'm gonna say this about the video game thing. Do you know how many young boys I know that grew up and were babysat by Grand Theft Auto?
Hold on, let me put. I just
Bro.
I had to give him his flowers, you know.
Yes.
Round of applause, you know
Bro.
what I'm saying?
So this Wayne is a highly intelligent brother. So he knows where this is going, and he is correct when he talks about it's not just hip hop. It's not. You got that GTA. Look, Lil Durk made a song called GTA. He made a song called that, bro. Like the dude is telling you how much GTA impacted his life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when you got kids out here that are babysat, mom and daddy put them in front of a damn PlayStation with a controller and say, hey, go into this open world and blow whoever head off that you see. Go into this open world, get a prostitute, get your blow job, and after she finishes giving you a blow job, you blow her head off and get her money. Everything's a headshot. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, bro, yes, these are crazy things that these kids have been put through. I know kids who have been babysat literally by GTA because mom and daddy don't have to worry about this boy or girl saying anything because they are so consumed into this video game. So video games, and this hits me personal because I know how impactful video games are. They're addictive, and everybody knows now that they're addictive. So for the parents out there saying that video games are not addictive, we have scientific evidence that video games are addictive. And like you said, just like with the hip hop, anything repetitive, you sitting here just doing headshots all day long, and then when you see a school shooting, what you notice is a lot of headshots. Hello.
Yeah,
I mean,
miss it.
I mean, it's telling you.
Even if you don't believe it, you can't dismiss it. That's just the point. You know what I'm saying? Like you can pick whatever side of you want to be on, but it doesn't matter if you want to fully embrace it. You just can't dismiss it.
No.
So like Antoine, welcome to the show. You've been sitting there patiently and quietly. We talked about this 2 weeks ago. I'm glad that you can make it. You and I had a great conversation about this topic. We didn't have Cavi the last time, and I wanted to be able to capture, you know what I'm saying, like your opinion and Cavi's opinion on the same topic at the same time. And I know how you feel about art. I know how you feel about expression. I know how you feel about taking what your environment gives you and doing the best you can with it. So, like, can you rehash your opinions about this topic? So that you and Cavi can kind of balance the conversation.
First of all, how long ago was that video with the lady talking?
That was 1993.
How long ago was that, in the 60s, 70s?
No,
Okay,
1993.
We all know how good that speech was.
Yeah.
But we all know how
years
good that march was, because it marched right down the hill into nothing, right? Because obviously it has no impact. Because we wouldn't be here today talking about it if it had a little bit of an impact. Second of all, I don't know what mommies and daddies you saying, but statistically, like you guys always preach about, it's a single parent home today. So that's out the window. Plain and simple. Thirdly, honestly, I'm not going to be one. I believe in art. I believe in expression. I believe that the music being sung today is not being sung by the ones that live it, but they're singing it because that's the lyrics that make money. Nobody wants to know about a guy in a nice compound home. So you gotta rap about bitches and hoes to get attention and get money. Okay, so they're not living the life they're rapping about. It's all about the dollar sign. They sold out a long time ago. That's the real Uncle Tom, but nobody wants to say it. So you're not gonna change anything. If anything, it's gonna get worse. And it does begin at home, because if there's no father at home to discipline what you are watching and to say, turn it off, your mom ain't gonna do it. She doesn't have time. She's working 2 jobs to keep you afloat. So I can't blame the art. I'm not gonna blame the art. I have art all over my place. I know guys that have sexual art all over. That's just their thing that they collect. If you walk into their house, you think these guys are the big grapers or something, you know what I mean? Because of so much sexual art they have. There's a genre out there for it. So I'm not going to police that. I'm not going to police what's being sung. Now, what could be done is that if you have a white guy from the suburbs rapping about shooting up a building, he should be called out and said, well, why do you rap? He should be asked in an interview, why are you rapping about something you know nothing about? You know? Why are you holding a gun when you've never even held one? Why, like, you've never lived that life? Let him answer that question. You got to bring the question to the source, because you can always ask an artist, why do I paint what I paint? And I'll be able to tell you. So to start there is the real element of finding out what's going on. You're not going to change it. I don't want to talk about change. Rap will never go away. It's going to get worse, and it'll continue getting worse. What you have to police is how it's being delivered and what's out there. Mm-hmm. You have to police that confinement. You can't confine art. You will never be able to confine art or expression. Mm-hmm. So I don't know why people are talking about it. It's one component of many things. I love DCS. You know, it's flight simulators, flying jets and shooting up shit. I love it. I'm getting better at it, and it's something that is. But I ain't gonna get into an F-14 Tomcat and start doing it. I know the difference when I walk away. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm policed about it. I know right from wrong. So it does begin at home, because your kid's not gonna have access to a PlayStation 3 unless you give him access. They make locks on it, but again, it starts at home to begin all this. So I'm not I'm not gonna blame rap music. Do I listen to it? No. Do I like it? No. It doesn't matter what I like. I like, I'm into different things. But I don't believe that. First of all, none of the people that are rapping today live that life. Okay, you don't. Snoop Dogg don't live that anymore. Snoop Dogg went to the Olympics for crying out loud. All right.
All right. Now that's where you're wrong. Look. Now that's where you're wrong. No, dude. Stop. Yes. Oh my God. You're saying
like Justin Bieber, dude. Like Justin Bieber came from a hard life. Really?
Look. For one thing, Antoine. That tells me who you just named, Justin Bieber, tells me that you don't keep up with the hip hop culture at all. Justin Bieber isn't even a damn factor.
You're missing the whole point. You see, you just went over your head, and I'll explain it to you slowly. Okay? Justin Bieber sings about shit he never lived, is what my point is. That's what my point is. It's not about what he's singing, and it's not about him as a person. I'm letting you know through Justin Bieber, and through that analogy, he sings about shit he's never lived. He tattooed his whole body, and he's not even about that. That's the message I'm telling you.
Okay, and the message I'm gonna tell you is for you to say that these kids that are out here rapping ain't doing what they rapping about. King Von. King Von did what he rapped about. Lil Durk did what he rapped about.
It's going right over your head, what I'm saying.
What the fuck is going over my head, Antoine? You're not making any fucking sense.
I just told you why I use Justin Bieber, and you went at Justin Bieber saying I don't know what I'm talking about. That went over your head. Don't tell me it didn't. I just corrected you. I just corrected you about it.
There's nothing to go over my head, Antoine. What I'm simply saying is that
you would acknowledge then you would have acknowledged why I used Justin Bieber. I'm saying he's rapping about shit he never lived. That's all I'm saying. I'm just using him as an example. Now, sure, is there rappers that are about that life? I'm not saying there's not rappers about that life. Holy crap! I'm not saying there's no rappers about that life. I'm just saying the rap that's coming out today, not everybody lived that life.
So let me say this right here, Antoine. Cavi is saying,
holy shit.
Cavi is saying that Justin Bieber shouldn't even be a comparison metric.
Right.
Yeah, Cavi,
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why it's a comparison. I'll tell you why it's a comparison.
Cavi is saying that Justin Bieber is not a rapper. He's just affiliated with certain artists that fit into the rap genre for promotional sakes. It's like if you did a song, if Snoop did a song with Pavarotti right now, we're not saying Pavarotti is about that life with Snoop. Justin Bieber is not the benchmark of that. It would be different if Adele came on the mic talking about selling bricks of fentanyl, you know what I'm saying, singing about it. That'll be way different than, you know what I'm saying, like any other artist that lives that life and that culture. We're saying that the commercialization of it has made it to where you can plug and play anybody into it, and we pave the way for it, you know, because it distorts reality for non-Black youth, and they commercialize it and they make it popular, and it don't have nothing to do with Black people. You know what I'm saying? But the people that bear the brunt of the consequences is the Black people, is the Black population that consumes it, that also makes the music. You know what I'm saying? So Justin Bieber is not a viable comparison to what you're saying, and that's what Cavi is talking about. Do you have a better example than Justin Bieber?
You guys, you know what? It went right over your head too. You guys you're just fixated on this. Forget it. You don't even know. I mean, you're not even putting two and two together. Like, you're just not getting it. What I'm saying. It's like you're using the victimhood card with the whole Black people getting into all that negative shit. And that's okay. I get it. I get it. Wait, I get it. You have your chance. I get it.
Who's using victimhood? You have your chance to speak, but you about this. This is you know nothing. Antoine, the truth is that you know nothing about this, and we're trying to break it down.
If you're gonna talk,
we want to use something else different than Justin Bieber. If you don't have anybody else other than Justin Bieber, what you're saying doesn't fit the conversation. That's what we're saying. Do you have someone else other than Justin Bieber to bring into the discussion about gangster rap music? Because if you don't have somebody else better than Justin Bieber, you don't know the fuck you're talking about. That's what this video is going to convey. People out here watching this, there's nobody ever said, put that Justin Bieber on because I want to shoot the block up, because I want to sell some bricks, because I want to fuck some hoes. Nobody's ever said, let me put some Justin Bieber on. Nobody. That I don't have to make that up. That's just the truth. It shows that you are not connected to this conversation like that. And what we're saying is that the problem that's persisted in the Black community, we've already had conversations about this at length. And this is about giving C. Dolores Tucker her flowers because she addressed it before. And just like Kevin Samuels did in the past, talking about how people needed to see relationships and how we were treating each other and the things that we were consuming that impacted it the same way, See, Dolores Tucker was that to rap music, just like Kevin Samuels was to relationships and how black men and black women engage with one another. She told us the things that we needed to know for black men to be protected, because she was trying to protect black boys at the time based on the music. You know what I'm saying?
Wayne, I see what you put up here, and it says to say it starts at home doesn't capture it all. Home is a product of social conditioning. Very true. Very true.
So what we consume. So what we consume during that time actually impacts us where we are right now. Because we're talking 30 years ago, right? 31 years ago to where we are right now. So we can say the adults that are between the ages of 24 and 28 are direct offspring of the people that consume the music that their parents was raised on, that C. Dolores Tucker was raging against, pretty much. You know
Right.
So
Antoine, do you, watching that C. Dolores Tucker video, do you agree with what she said? I can't hear him.
I think you're muted.
You gotta unmute him.
No, you can unmute himself.
Oh, okay.
I thought it was like a Martin Luther King speech. That's all. I just thought about it. All right, yeah, and it made no difference. It made no difference. It didn't change a damn thing.
Yep. She couldn't change
it. Didn't change a damn thing. She didn't change a thing, and she never would have. She's not the first speech that you've heard like that.
Why do you feel like? Why do you feel like?
You've heard like that?
Yeah, I got you. But why do you feel like? Why do you feel like? It didn't change anything. Why do you feel like that? Because I'd like to know why it didn't change anything. Why?
Look at where we are. Do you think?
No. What I'm saying is, why didn't it change anything? Why wasn't that fight? Why did it die? Is what I'm saying.
Because people want it's all about the money. It's all about the money.
All right. So who's making money off of hip hop?
It's all about. What do you mean, who's making the singers? Everybody's making money off of hip hop today. Well, today everybody does it themselves, social media wise. But back in the day, the big executives that actually put you on the air made the money, and then trickled down to you until you took control. And you took control and bought your tracks back.
So here's
and all the other guys did.
Okay. So here's the question that I have, right?
Because it will never. The almighty dollar will never be broken. It will never be outbeaten. Right, because you have kids that will practically, if they're selling a liver to make money in some countries, that tells you how deep it goes. Some people are willing to do anything to get out of their situation, and there's more people like that than there are not in that position.
So are we? Would we say that
at some point become a choice?
Okay, so would we say that rock and country didn't make as much money as hip hop? Why was hip hop the only genre that had this degenerate shit with it, and rock and country didn't have that same element?
Dude, that's like asking why Michael Jackson sold more albums than somebody else. It's what's out there and what's people want to consume. It's what people want to consume.
Hey. Oh, I understand that. I understand that, but you got to understand that Lauryn Hill's album, Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, was the #1 sold album. I think it still is amongst black. It still is amongst black genre. So can we say that black people wanted to hear this dumb shit the whole time? I say not, because otherwise Lauryn Hill's album wouldn't still be the #1 seller.
Not only why do you think it's only black people buying the music?
No, for the most part, we're the ones that consume this, and we're the ones that mimic what we're seeing.
Well, but if you look at the concerts, it's not only black people in the concerts. It's like I get that, and it's impacting them now. It's impacting everybody, but it always will. It always. What makes you think you can contain art?
I want to ask you.
Contain art.
I want to ask you another question, and don't say you can't contain art, because you can. Because back in the day with NWA, back in the day with NWA, when they made the song "Fuck the Police," was it not banned?
It was banned.
They got arrested. They got arrested. I'm talking about back then. Totally different today.
No, but let's talk about today. Can you hear it? You want to hear it?
I'm pretty sure you can hear it today. Yeah,
can you hear
hear that today. Yeah.
But
the youth aren't connected to NWA. The youth are the ones who are impressionable. Not the older people.
It doesn't matter if it's connected. I'm asking you, can you listen to it today?
Yes, you can listen to it today.
Yes. I said
yes. What 15-year-old? What I'm saying is, what 15-year-old is listening to the NWA "Fuck the Police" is what I'm saying. It's not happening.
Are you serious right now?
It's not happening. They're not listening to that shit. No. What I'm saying, Antoine, why was it banned in the first place? Answer that question. Why was it banned in the first place?
Because of the lyrics. You know, because of the lyrics.
Why? But why? Lyrics don't make a difference according to you. It doesn't make a difference. It's you know.
It doesn't.
It's art. It's art according to you.
Wait a minute. You're not listening. You're only talking to not listen. Listen. It was banned because of the lyrics. The government banned it. The government banned it because they didn't want to hear those lyrics. They didn't want it out, and they didn't want that image of the cops. Right? We basically say it was about that. Right? That's still expression of art, even though it's banned by the higher powers that be. Now, can you hear it today? Of course. There's a movie made of it? Of course. Did it really get banned? Is it really banned today?
At that time, yes. At that time, yes. At that time, yes.
I would love to drive. Listen, I would love to drive a car looking in the rearview mirror, but let's bring it forward to 2024. Okay, because that's what I'm talking about. Now, is it banned today? No. Can you hear it today freely? Yes.
Of course.
Is porn bigger than it is today than it was? Porn was banned back then. Look how big porn is today. So
yeah. And do you see the impact? Do you see the impact of that?
Right. And do you see how many unnuclear families there are today compared to back then?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the impact? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So now let's bring it. Okay. So now you know that it begins at home, because you are in charge. You cannot control what's out there. You're in control of what leaves your house and what comes into your house. That's all you have. That's the only control you have, period. That will never change. Will music continue to influence kids? Yes. Will people sing what people want to hear to make money? Yes. So where does it begin? What are you going to listen to and what are you going to say? That's all you can do. Now, if you ask me, how do you change that? It begins at home, because I know that I'm going to do my best not to let that happen to any kids that I would love to have. I don't think so. I'm going to do my best to school them and educate them. But at the end of the day, when they leave that house, I'll be there to pick up the pieces.
Let's take it to 2020. Let's take it to 2024. Let's take it to 2024. For the the influencers. Okay, so for the influencers today who have been digitally erased, banned off of digital platforms because of what they're saying, why is that being done today? Why is that being done?
Give me. Okay, so that's great words. Give me something to go.
Look. Like I said, like I just told Vic before he left here, Donald Trump was digitally banned from Twitter, digitally banned from YouTube, digitally banned from Facebook. Off of one riot that he really didn't cause. That's what I'm saying. Well, Alex Jones to this day is still digitally banned from every fucking platform on the internet, Antoine. Why? They're banning Fresh and Fit.
Like that.
Listen to me. I don't know about you. I'm just saying this, okay? How you conduct yourself on social media is influence, right? The words you use are detrimental. I get all. Okay, so I get all that. I'm not going to get into a politics talk about Donald Trump, what he did, what he influenced. You have your version, I have mine. That's called politics. So I'm not going to go there. So let's leave that alone, right? Because we're never going to agree to disagree on that. Now,
I wasn't getting into politics. I was just simply telling you he was banned. Yeah.
Okay, and I think he was rightfully banned for what he said, but that's, like I said, I'm not going to get into that. Now, if you ask me why Fresh and Fit was banned, what's so funny?
But a motherfucker could get on a goddamn track and on that track 30 times he could talk about blowing a nigga's head off, but yet you talking about Donald Trump. He should have been banned from saying we're going to march down to the Capitol peacefully. That's the quote. That's the sound bite that you're listening to is some Democrat bullshit. He said we're going to walk down to the Capitol peacefully, quote Donald Trump, and he still got banned. But you're telling me that it's okay for a young black man to say that he want to blow a nigga's head off 30 times on a track. That's okay. But Donald Trump can't say we can walk down to the Capitol peacefully and show them how mad we are. He can't say that. But we can encourage the killing of black kids. That's okay. Respond.
We
ain't got no fucking response.
You're right. I don't. You're right.
Mute your mic, Kevin, and let Antoine have his way.
No. He's right. No. He's right. I got no response. He's right.
Well, I would like that conversation. Wait a minute.
No, he's right. No, he's right. I got no fucking response. Right. I got no fucking response. He's right.
No, you don't. You don't have any logical response, Antoine, because there's no logical response for that. So I get that. Checkmate. Yeah, checkmate. You're done on that. So let's not speak about that anymore. Like so when we talk about the impact of propaganda or of propaganda on youth, on the youth's mind, this is a real thing. This is not fiction. It's not in any way fictitious at all. This is a truth. This is something that we know. This is something that we know happens. So at the end of the day, yes, it needs to be talked about. Absolutely. We can't just keep throwing the goddamn thing, saying, well, it starts at home. Well, shit. God, I mean, if you have a kid, okay, they got a cell phone. You're telling me that as a parent, you can keep up with everything that they're looking at on that cell phone. I'd like to hear your response on that. You could do that for 24 hours. Antoine, you there? I think he's muted again, Victor.
Unmute yourself, Antoine.
Yeah, I mute myself because I'm just letting you talk. Listen, you don't want to have a conversation. You just want to accuse and point the finger. That shit
that people say when they getting their ass ate up in a debate. That is shit that people say when they getting their ass ate up in a debate. That's exactly what that is, Antoine. You have no logical response for what I'm saying to you. No logical response.
Why are you asking me?
I'm asking you the question. All I'm saying is I ask you the question. If you have a child, if you have a child and they have a phone, can you police that phone 24 hours is what I'm asking, since everything starts at home.
Dude, listen, you already answered for me. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? It's like
Correct. Wayne, what you just said, you said it's impossible to police what comes in the home. It is impossible to police everything that comes in the home. It definitely is. We as parents know that. So at the end of the day, yes, there is a genre of music out here that is very dangerous. It's very dangerous. When you see a kid post a music video on YouTube and he's talking about killing his ops, and next week that kid is dead because they ops killed him. And then the week after that, somebody standing over somebody's cemetery grave and they making a music video in the cemetery grave where they just killed their ops. and a lot of these kids ain't even from the hood. Like, this is happening, bro. This is happening. And it's become a real problem in our community, a significant problem in our community. We understand the whole excuse of, well, okay, single mothers. Okay, all right, we get it. We get it. Single mothers. We all understand that. We get that. But at the end of the damn day, bro, this was not always like this. Even with single mother households, even back in the 70s and 80s, stuff like that, bro, it was not always like this, bro. This shit right here that we're seeing is on another level. That's what I'm saying.
I agree with that, because being born in 79, we kind of got like the residue of, like our parents that was adults in the 70s.
Right.
And like, whether they were teens and coming into early adulthood, they didn't raise us with tragedy. They didn't raise us with the level of violence that we experienced in our teen years. You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we've lived long enough to process the outcomes fast enough to be able to say, this culture isn't helpful.
No.
For us, you know what I'm saying, overcoming the other obstacles that we got going on, and we've been really stifled by it. It ain't help. So it's really holding us back in a lot of different ways. And I do believe we're breaking free from it. I do believe that a lot of us are putting it in the right box.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The right box of entertainment is right next to the same movies that we stopped watching. You know what I'm saying? But it, like, if it crosses the airwaves the right way, it's nostalgic. But it ain't nothing that we finna go act on. You know what I'm saying? In our 40s. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're not even in the same spaces socially to really act on, you know what I'm saying, like what that music represented at the time. You know what I'm saying? And what it was trying to convey, what it was promoting, whatever. So, like, it's almost taboo in a lot of different ways. You know what I'm saying? So, it's like we got to be adults about it. And the music that we grew up on, how much influence do we think that does it have on our youth? Because they're not listening to that.
No, they ain't listening to that shit at all.
Like, their brand of it is something completely different.
Yeah.
Totally different. And in a lot of ways, we're disconnected from what they listen to.
Let me read this, what Wayne is saying right here. He says, you need men and women in the community that influence the kids. They have to be the people who focus on connecting with the generation that the kids deem as cool. I worked in behavior counseling. I was effective because I related and could have real convos and influence. The more people that are healthy minded and in touch to talking to kids, the better. Many can't get that at home. This is correct. I agree with you. And this is why I will agree with Antoine. When you do have a single mother that's working one or two jobs, working two jobs, working her ass off, and she really doesn't have the time to address a lot of what's going on with her kid. I agree with that. That's the part about being a single mother that I get. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes we give women too much of this. We give them too much. We're too negative. When it comes to our single mothers, there are a lot of single mothers out here that are actually trying. They've educated themselves. They've done everything that they're supposed to do to get to put their kid in a better situation. But unfortunately, because there is a time restraint, to how much time they can put into their kid because they're doing it by themselves, that is a problem. And if women aren't willing to admit that, I don't know what to say. I really don't know what to say. I would love to see more families, intact, with a mother and father at home. I would love to see that. But unfortunately, right now, it's just something that isn't quite there. And once again, I can blame that on what Wayne called social conditioning. So if I tell you or I promote music that you calling your wives and mothers and daughters bitches and hoes and all this shit and baby mamas and all this, yeah, I'm a slowly lose respect for that woman. I'm gonna slowly lose respect for that woman, and I'm going to use her as if she was a bitch. What's a bitch? A female dog. You done called her that a million times over all these albums. You done called your black woman a female dog. Name me another genre of music where you see men calling their women of their race bitches and hoes. You cannot name that genre. You will not see that genre. You need to name that for me. Where is that genre that does that? Country don't do that. Rock don't do that. As crazy as heavy metal is, it don't do that. The only one that you're seeing is hip hop and what's underneath hip hop. This degenerate shit that we need to get rid of. I see somebody just came in. Who is this right here?
Hey, Final Chapter, come on in.
Hey, what's going on, fellas?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, shout out to Final Chapter. He's been watching for a few episodes. I've seen him in the YouTube channels, in the YouTube timeline. So, hey, man, I appreciate you watching the conversation as it evolves from week to week. Man, welcome to the show. What you got to ask, man?
Well, I appreciate you having me up. Yeah, I've been kind of lurking a little bit, popping in here and there, and I just this topic in particular is interesting because I hear that a lot. When I'm of the opinion that rap music has been a net negative for the Black community. Now I'm older now, and when I was younger, I used to really consume a lot of rap music and stuff like that. So I appreciate, the talent that goes into making the music. But, if we're going to keep it 100, it's been a net negative. In my opinion, it's been a net negative for the Black community. And when I bring this up to, my family and my friends, when I share this opinion, I hear the argument a lot that, it's just music, and my thing is, okay, so I approach this from a few different points of view. The first point of view is companies pay millions, if not billions of dollars to put advertising out and, messaging out, branding out, and everything else. So we don't have to really try to figure out whether or not it has an impact on our community. We know it does because we know that Coca-Cola wouldn't spend millions of dollars, hundreds of million dollars a year to run a 15-second commercial if advertising and music and media and everything like that was not effective. We don't have to try to figure that out. We already know that music is a medium is effective in terms of changing people's mindset, right? So I just want to know if everyone on the panel would agree with that. If not, then maybe I'm missing something.
No, I don't disagree with that. I think advertising value is the main component as to why rap is so heavily invested in at this stage.
I'm in 100% with agreeing with you, brother. I love what you just said, man. And I love how you like kind of placated that in. I love that, man, because that is everything. It's like you said, when you're looking at advertisement, why does Coca-Cola have so many advertisements going on? Why does Pepsi have so many advertisements going on? What is an advertisement? What is the purpose of an advertisement? It's to get you to buy into a product. So I see it the same way. Yeah, I'm 100% with you.
All right. I agree too.
And Antoine, where you, bro?
I see nothing wrong with it. I see perfect. Yeah. If I have the money, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do what I'm going to do to get my product sold and out there. That's what it's called advertising for. That's why it's called a company. Now, and that's why you have a choice to buy it or not. That's it.
All right,
I'm going to give you the choice. You don't have to. Okay. I don't care about your upbringing if you buy it. I really don't care.
Right. But and that kind of feeds into my second line of reasoning, because typically I'll get the same response if I'm talking to my family, what I'm saying, my homeboys, they'll tell me the same thing. Well, you don't have to consume it if you don't want to, right? So the way I look at that point that you just laid out, Antoine, is that, and I'm not trying to attack you personally. This is your
I always get attacked
point of view
on this channel. I'm used to it. I'm the light skinned one.
Well,
I'm the light skinned one. With this hair, I've been getting attacked my whole life. This hair, this color, brother, you the line.
Well, you know, like I say, I mean, what you're saying is basically the typical response that you get when you bring up this topic. So my response to that would be, okay, in terms of art, okay, what is considered art versus what is considered going too far and being illegal, right? Like, and I'm gonna use an extreme example. I'm not trying to, you know, get your video flagged or anything like that, but Kitty P, right? P Kitty corn,
Okay.
right? Okay. So
Okay.
to somebody that's kind of out there, maybe on kind of the far end of the spectrum, you know, in terms of art, might consider kitty corn to be art, right? You know, there could be there could be a group of people that may consider that to be art. So what determines that that's actually illegal and banned is the consensus of society, and on whether or not it's a net negative, not necessarily if it's a net negative, but whether or not it crosses social norms enough to be outlawed, to be banned. So all art is just the razor's edge between uh expression and something, whether or not something being is illegal. I mean, there's a razor's edge there that you can kind of go all the way up to, but not necessarily cross that line that will turn art from being art to something that the feds are actually not kicking in your door at 6 o'clock in the morning because you have it on your computer. So we have to be honest about the fact that art is a very ambiguous term, right? It's, you know, something.
Well,
My
let's
point
put
is,
logic to it. Let's put some logic. Okay, let's put some logic to it now.
okay,
Okay, we all have morals and values, and we were raised with morals and values. We all know right from wrong. All right, we all know right from wrong. We all know Kitty P is wrong, right? We all know that as we all know that. We don't
right,
need to. That's not art.
right, but
we all
that's
know it's wrong.
what I'm trying to.
Wait,
Society.
is there a small minority? Jesus.
Okay, what
Go
my
ahead,
point is,
go
my
ahead.
point is we can't just say it's right or wrong based on. It depends on your framework and your worldview on whether or not something is right or wrong. And what I'm saying is art. What's considered art versus something that's considered going too far is the consensus of society determines that. It's not necessarily something. It's not
I
just
was just
because
about
it's
to tell you what
legal
it is.
that it's
I'm going to tell
okay.
it to you.
Okay, all right, go ahead, brother.
No, I never said that. I was just about, as an artist, let me explain it to you. I'm going to explain it to you as an artist, and a professional one is that. Okay, art is expression of what's inside to outside. Now, what you hold as an artist inside to outside, that's questionable to how the public will take it. Now, is Kitty P, obviously, we all know that's right from wrong, because at some point you have to hand it over to the person to realize what's right and what's wrong. As an artist myself, I can tell you Gothic art is wrong. Is it expressing how you are as a person? Yes. Does everybody need to see it? No. Would everybody go to see it? No. It'd be an acquired taste, right? Is alcohol expression of art? Alcohol definitely is, because of the taste and each individual nuances that go in to make it taste the way it is. You can ask the guy that created it and says, that's a masterpiece. Now, is everybody going to consume that? No. Is everybody knows how bad alcohol is? Yes. Do people go out and buy it? Yes. But is it bad? No. Anything in excess is bad for you. Bringing it back to now what you're saying. No. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I agree with that.
No, go ahead.
I agree with what you said so far.
Okay. So now let's bring it to now music, right? The beat, forget about the music behind it, because for me as an artist, for me the sound is the music. What comes out of your mouth is the shit, right? That's like an artist that's abstract. For me, as an artist, abstract is somebody that can't draw, wants to draw, throws shit on a canvas and calls it art. And shit has a way of floating to the top. But as an artist that can draw, I can do both. I can do what's behind me, and I can do the shit that you see as abstract. And you as the consumer wouldn't know what the hell I'm saying, because I'll make up a story behind it. But that's a whole other area. So that's the expression part. Okay, so now let's bring this into music. For me, the art part of rap is what I love about the rap. The music that makes you say the words you say. So I'm dissecting it. That's how I listen to it. Because I love rap with the beats, but I don't love rap for the words that come out of the person's mouth. That's the creative art part I'm not agreeing with. That's the creative art part that's expressive for what that person is saying. Now, did that person live the life? No, he didn't live the life, but he'll rap about it. Did I live the life as an abstract artist? Hell no, but I'll draw that shit because somebody will buy it. Is it wrong to sell it like that? I probably shouldn't be saying that as an artist. For the ones that have my abstract out there, sucks to be you. You already signed the check. Now, back again. If you're going to play music, I'm saying if an artist is going to sing about his life, like NWA back in the day when I think rap was really rap, because they were singing about what they see every single day, compared to how it's, mainstream today and anything's a beat and it's the same word over and over, just at another time. Anyway, I don't think there's anything wrong with the rap music that's coming out today. Is it influential? Fuck yeah, it is. Absolutely influential. But I don't have no control of how your son receives it. I know one thing. It's my expression, and I want the money for what I just made. That's the creative part of me. How it's influenced and what it does out there, really don't care, because I'm telling you my story. That's what art is. Art is the art. To understand art is to understand the finer things in life, because that's where art dwells. You may not understand somebody buying a $6,000 shirt, but that person that's buying a $6,000 shirt knows he's not going to see anybody else with one, not in his lifetime. That's what I'm saying. So when it comes to the music, and as bad as the music is, I have no problem with them expressing it, bitches and hoes, doing all that shit. Do I like it? No. But I don't have to buy that canvas on the wall either. I don't. I don't have to buy it. But I'm not going to, you can't contain it.
Okay.
It's just like.
I was just going to say that's where I disagree with you right there in terms of it. Obviously, it's not. It has not. We've seen the outcome of rap music not having not been contained. We've seen the result of that. So
I haven't seen the video games. I haven't seen the video games not being contained. Right? We've seen the video games not being contained. Right?
Right. We're talking about rap. I mean, video games is a parallel topic right now.
I know, but I just want to. Right. But I want to stick to the art part. Just hold on a second. I'm going to break it down for you. Video games is art, right? So we can't contain the video games, right?
To a point. I mean, it is contained, because
No. Video games are not contained. No, wait. I want to be clear on what we're saying here. I'm saying, just like you can't contain the rap, you can't contain the video games, right?
I agree with that.
I agree with that too. Yeah, you can't contain it.
You're gonna have wait a minute. You have violence, you know what I'm saying, like shooters and stuff like that in these video games, but you don't see, you know what I'm saying, like sexual scenes or anything lewd in video games. It's not like pornography.
No.
GTA is that.
Okay.
Well, I don't play GTA, so I don't know.
It doesn't matter if you don't play it. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist just because you don't play it.
I just wasn't aware of it. So yeah. I'll accept that because I don't know.
Okay. There are HT, the human, you know what I'm saying? Like the trafficking word.
Right. Okay.
There are scenes that fit into that umbrella on GTA. That's been highly discussed.
Absolutely, it's been discussed a lot. Yeah, GTA is like an open world simulation.
My thing about is if certain things are not bottled up, my thing is being a little bit older, and a little bit. I hope I've become a little bit more wiser. There's certain things that the youth. I just think that should not be exposed to, whether it's art or not. I think that there has to be guardrails placed on, and it's right now with the connectivity and the internet and everything like that.
That's what Antoine is talking about. That's on the parents. That's all Antoine. Antoine's drawing the barrier.
That's what I'm saying. That begins at home.
That begins at home, right? But we're talking about once once the influence is taken hold, what are we supposed to do about it to rein it back in? You know what I'm saying? Because that, I believe, is radicalization on a different level. Because there's certain cultures within certain genres of rap, because that's what we're talking about right now, right? Our people, like, I'm 45. Cabby, what are you, 44? And Antoine is 46. You know,
47.
yeah, he old as fuck. None of us grew up on drill music. You know what I'm saying?
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah. I just wanted that to be understood, that you the old head up here. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't grow up on drill music, so we're not running around here like ops. That's a new word for us. Ultimately, we only know that word because some of us got kids that's the age that talks about this lingo and this slang. You know what I'm saying? Like, we old. But discussing the culture of music that raised us in so many words. It didn't raise us, but it was part of our upbringing, rather. And now we got these kids that pop pills and live life like Grand Theft Auto, pretty much. You know,
and Vic, I'll even add to that. For me, right? If you really want to change the genre of rap, you got to go to the source of it. And we all know that begins with culture, our culture, right? We started rappers like all that back in the day. We started that, period. There's no other, we started that. It's a very clear, Rappers Delight was the first rap song ever, I think, popularized. Okay, if you're going to change rap music and the source of where it's from does not want to conform and change, what makes you think anybody from the outside is going to change that? No one. You cannot tell an artist how to paint. You cannot tell a rapper how to rap. You cannot contain it. In order for it to be contained, you have to go to the source. And the source is the Black community. And there is no way in hell you're going to tell them you can't talk about NWA and you can't talk about bitches and hoes. Because nobody is not signing up for it. Women will go on that shit just for their 15 minutes of fame to put it on their resume. That's it. So my thing is this.
Agreed.
I would focus more. I would focus more on the structure of the family. Do my damnedest job to contain what I can contain. Tell them, listen, you're gonna see it. I'm not gonna be with you 24/7. I gotta work. I gotta do things. But I just want you, when you do see it and you process it, you're able to bring it home and let me help you process it. You're of age to know right from wrong, and you got your own morals and values that I instill. Jeffrey Dahmer did stuff as Jeffrey Dahmer because he had crappy parents. They instilled everything they did into him. It's just that he had that loose screw, you know. And when he had that loose screw, he was of age that the parents. He was at that age that the parents cannot do anything about it. That's all.
I mean, but you can't. I mean, you know, the authorities. And I'm not a big proponent of, you know, government telling us what we can consume and everything like that, you know, but in certain cases, you know, I put it this way. In my mind, if rap music was banned, I think the Black community would be better off. I mean, could we agree to that? Now, I'm not saying that you know, there would people still trying to sell a rap underground and stuff like that, but I'm just saying if they were to ban it and take it out of the mainstream, could, you know, the four of us on the panel, would we agree that it would be a net positive for the Black community if they did ban it?
No, I don't agree with that.
No, because then there'd be an uproar. Then there'd be an uproar for where did it go? From our own community.
Let me.
It would be an uproar. Where did it go?
Let me tell you why I don't think it would be an automatic net positive. Because there's a large group of population within the Black community that don't even consume gangster rap. So
it wouldn't have any impact on them if you banned it. I'm talking about the ones that consume it. If you banned it, obviously it wouldn't take the outcome wouldn't change right away, but they'll be weaned off of it over time.
I think it would be disingenuous for us to say it would be a net positive. I think you have to talk to people that actually consume it now, and introduce that conversation to them. Because if we don't consume it, and we're not allowing it to impact how we operate in our own households, then we're already experiencing life without it. You know what I'm saying? The people that are dependent upon it would have to enter the conversation for it to have some sort of effect, because all we're doing is speculating at this point.
Well, I mean, it's not really speculation because we see when they banned alcohol that the consumption went down. Obviously, it drove it underground. It would
That's
be,
like
I
saying
believe, it'd be the same.
but that's like saying school shootings stopped when COVID would hit because nobody was in school.
What I'm saying, okay, so
And-
I just want to let me clarify my position.
Yeah.
Okay, I agree that the family is the cornerstone of the community. You have to start with a strong family first, and then you build from there, right? I agree with that. So that's the first layer, right? The first layer of protection over your children is the family, the parents, right?
Yeah.
Then the second level would be like your immediate community. So once your kids, and I have some kids, and once they leave my covering in my household, then they're basically out of my protection, and they're exposed to that, basically the second level, which is a community, and then after that it's the wider world and stuff like that. But the point I'm trying to make is as parents, you really only can control so much, and then so you're saying that basically it's like if you if you're in a plane, like you're the captain of that plane or whatever, so you're controlling that. But if they jump out of the plane, they don't have a parachute, like you're on your own. Like I just think that this society, the guardrails are too wide. So the freedoms of society are so wide that there's more people than should, more people are self-destructing that should be self-destructing, because there's no guardrails nowadays at all, not culturally, not legally. It's just a free-for-all, and my position is I don't
agree
think
with you
that's
on
good
that.
for the Black community.
I think
Okay,
the word,
so let me ask you this, because this is good.
Go ahead, Antoine. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got a question on this one, right? So I agree with you 100%. And the containment is gone. It'll never be. Rap music has evolved now to where it's in movies now, right? Because you can listen to a rap song and there's actually a movie made about it, and the violence and all that sort of stuff, right? And African Americans go and act in those movies, right? They go and participate in those movies when I don't think they should. Personally, I think that when was the last time you saw an African American man and woman make a love story, right? They don't even believe we kiss. They think that we all eat chicken and watermelon around the table. And what comes out when Eddie Murphy or Tyler Perry or people in powers that be make a movie, it's always a stereotype. It's never really do, right? I don't know about you. I eat chicken, but I don't eat watermelon. I don't eat black-eyed peas either. But that's here nor there.
Yeah, I don't eat.
So
I
you
don't
can't
even
really
eat
contain
chicken.
it.
I don't even eat fried chicken. I eat
There
fried
you go.
chicken every day for
So-
the first 10 years of my life. I don't even like fried
Right.
chicken.
So-
Go ahead, brother.
Exactly. So now it brings me to this point. I'm the guy that believes, when they say the captain goes down with the ship, all those people ain't worth saving. I'm jumping off the boat. All those people ain't worth saving. I made a mistake, and with the way social media is today, I'm jumping off the boat because I know you don't like me. You're gonna blame me either I live or die. You're still gonna blame me. So I'd rather you blame me when I'm alive and I change my name and become somebody else. But that's me, right? So I believe in that. I don't believe after 21. When they say after 18, I think it's 18 in some country, in some states, 21 you become an adult. After that happens, I don't think you should even mention the parents' fault. Because before 18 and 21, when they did what they did, they were fine. So for me, I don't even think you should interview the parents of why their kid turned out like that. Because all I'm going to do is go on stage. Well, he was fine up until he left my house. So he became an adult. Yeah, he carries my last name, but sucks to be him. He's going to be in jail. Am I going to visit him? No. Do I care when he dies? Yeah, he was my son, but what do you want me to do? He did wrong, and I'm agreeing with what he did wrong. I'm not going to defend him if he did wrong. I'm not going to defend him if he killed somebody. I'm definitely not going to hide him. right? Because I'm not
But
dragging
Antoine,
myself into your shit.
but
As your
Antoine, okay, so I think I understand. I agree with what you're laying out, but what I'm saying is, okay, I think the scale is so large now that we kind of basically just kind of surrender to the flow of society, the current of society. You just kind of give up, right? But I'm just, if it, let's say it was your family and maybe 100 people in almost like a little tribe, right? You would have a lot more say so over what's going on in that tribe in terms of what is being, obviously if it's only 100 or 200 people, what I'm saying, you may not have technology and stuff like that, but I'm just saying, if you had a little tribe somewhere, you would have a lot more say in what information is coming in and going out of that community. That is
right,
the
which
the
is your house.
doors have been blown off in modern society. Like the amount of control and influence that you have as a parent is like only a fraction of what you had as a parent even 20 years ago. So,
Right.
I think we may have to rely on some governmental or some kind of regulation to keep the wheels from completely fall. I mean, I think the wheels have already fallen off the cart here. I think we're already sliding down a path of just debauchery. You see what's going on with P. Diddy and all that. The music industry is just, it's just rotted. It's rotted out. It's just hulled out basically. So you just want to say,
But
you're
don't you
saying,
think
okay,
it's been
you can
whole out
handle
of
it as a household. I don't see how you can protect your family and your young children just as a parent. I just don't see it.
And that's why I agree with you. That's why I said you can't. That's why I said the parents should be left alone after a certain age. You're done. Don't blame the parents. You can't. They're grown adults now. You part of the nest. And you have to understand, music, this has been corrupted way. P. Diddy was doing it way before it just came out now. Right? I mean, the Me Too movement started because of Harvey, but that's been happening since the dawn of time, back in Marilyn Monroe days. Back in, people that want their 15 minutes. It's still gonna happen. It's still gonna happen. You can't contain it anymore. That's why I tell everybody, you can't contain it anymore. And that's why I believe a law should be passed that after a certain age, when that kid becomes an adult and they drink alcohol, they're allowed to, at a certain age, they're allowed to drink alcohol. At a certain age, they're allowed to do certain things. That's when at a certain age, the parents should sign their rights off and go, now don't include me for nothing because he ain't living with me. Don't come and interview me. I did my part as the job. I brought him to school. I put him in high school. I put clothes on his back. I fed him. He went to a good school. He brought home good grades. He just ended up having a loose screw that I didn't know about. And he's not in my possession anymore. That's what I believe.
I think you own to something with that, Antoine, because children, once they turn 15, 16, 17, they start knowing more than the parents. And the parent try to hold on to a child that knows more than them. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of situations. And yeah, it's on the parent to try to make the right decision on behalf of that child, because the truth is at 17, 18, 19, up to probably your mid-20s all the way to your early 30s, you don't really know what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? But it's up to the parent to decide if this child is fit to live under their roof again. You know what I'm saying? Like, or at all. So if you want them to go out there, if you want them to go out there and experience the world, you got to let them go taste it. There's nothing you could do to simulate the real world for a child. So Lakeisha Copper agrees with Antoine. And like, think about your own childhood when you knew more than your parents at some point and they let your ass go. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not.
I really want to say this to you. And Vic, I really want to say that because you touched on something. Marvin Gaye got shot by his own dad because he came back drug and high, yelling at his mother. He protected himself. Did he do the right thing, killing his son? He just didn't want him around the family. You high, you in coke, You're breaking up my home, and I feel threatened. I'm an old man, and you're gonna kill me. I'm gonna get my gun and shoot you. I'm not gonna lose my life because of you. And that's how he died. He didn't die because he drug overdose. He died because he got shot by his own dad. And like his dad said, he was gonna kill me. I felt threatened. At a certain point, you can't. I don't blame Michael Jackson's father. I don't blame Michael Jackson's father. I don't even blame Bobby Brown. I don't even blame Whitney Houston. No. Michael Jackson's father made him what he is. What Michael chose to do with it and became cuckoo, that's all Michael. That has nothing to do with how he was raised. He left his house a long time ago. Right? Because he controlled the money of how much they're getting paid.
So Anton.
Well, you gonna wait till what Tim in for the to
So,
bring that up. But man, you ain't shit, boy, for that one. Because Michael is a whole show, guys. Cut it out, man. You can't do that. That's not even fair.
You're kind of off kilter on that one, Antoine. That was complete abuse of children. We cannot condone that, bro. Like, what are we doing here, Antoine?
Hey, cut it out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
what are we doing here, Antoine?
Hey, there's so many lyrics that's associated with Michael Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Like I heard one guy say he's the early risers because he beat the sun up. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jackson was the punchline to the lyric. That tell you something right there. You can't do that, Antoine. That's wrong.
Well, my
I'm
question.
sorry, my bad.
Come on, Captain. What you got, man? Because we're gonna wrap up in a few minutes, but you know what I'm saying? Go for it, bro.
Are you talking about me? Okay. I
Mute
mean,
your mic, Antoine. I'm gonna mute you. You done said too much already.
At the end of the day, like I said, this whole subject of hip hop, or we'll just say the degenerate version of hip hop, because there's a good version of hip hop too. 111 Theory earlier, he commented and said hip hop can be used for good and bad. It can be used for good and bad, definitely. But the degenerate version of it, yeah, it does definitely have a social impact on our community, definitely right now. And we as mentors can see it, either by the way that these young men are talking or how aggressive they are. You can definitely see it, and it's troubling, So, and like I said, if it were all environmental, I would be okay with that. I would say, this kid's acting this way because of their environment. Okay, understand that. But when they are not in that environment and they just choose to be this type of person because they're being influenced, I don't think a lot of people do a lot of research on social media and what these kids take in per day. I mean, the average 13-year-old, I think it said 5 hours a day. So think about it. Like if you're working a regular job, okay, you're working 8 hours a day. Your child is on their phone on social media for more than half a shift of work. So when we look at TikTok, right? And we look at YouTube Shorts, things like that. Their favorite thing is TikTok, Instagram, okay? There's this constant motion, okay? A constant motion, all right? A flip, slide, slide, slide. And what happens is when they find something that they like, they look at it and they view the whole minute. When they view that whole minute, the algorithm picks that up and they say, hey, this child viewed this whole minute of this clip right here. Let's see what else they like. And before you know it, their personal algorithm, which everyone has a personal algorithm, their personal algorithm picks up on that. And this child has created their own world, their own universe where everything agrees with him or her. I don't think y'all understand how significant that is.
That's an echo chamber. That's what we call it, an echo chamber.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's crazy. So at the end of the day, you have to have things outside of what you believe in to balance you out. Because if you're believing in something crazy and this algorithm has picked up and they're constantly throwing this to you, look at the real red pill community. Most red pill guys are like that because their algorithm has picked up on that, and that's all they see.
That's the echo chamber.
That's their echo chamber. You have to stop. And Antoine, you spoke about this a while ago. You said that you had been speaking a certain way around your father, and your father was like, "Who the hell is this that I'm hearing?" You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? Like, you're talking nonsense right now, son. You gotta chill out. That's because your algorithm had trained you to think like that. Now think about that. As a 47-year-old man, your father had to tell you, son, put the damn phone down. Now think about a 16-year-old. You know what I'm saying? It's even worse. You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
peer pressure.
Right. And that as well. So with my particular kid, right? What you just said about the peer pressure thing. Okay. All the kids get to go to school with phones. Okay. Now we do have in our school systems where they can't use the phone during class time. However, if I try to send my kid to school without a phone, you know, he's feeling like he's alienated from his whole generation. That's how they communicate. That's the only way they communicate. I've seen kids go to parties and they are all literally looking at a phone, texting each other right next to each other. It's crazy, bro. So yeah, I mean, we have to at some point address that, and I think the government's trying to, because they're seeing the impact, and they're seeing what's going on. They're seeing what's going on to the point where, I mean, we've had schools over the last 2 years start banning phones entirely because they found out that all the fights were happening and getting started on the phone apps. They were seeing that, and once they banned them off the premises altogether, the fight stopped. So we know that, like I said, social media, repetitive things in your algorithm, songs and things like that, it can mess with your mind. All I'm simply saying is, like, there needs to be a limit. You know, there needs to be a limit. We've done that with our kids.
Kathy,
You know,
you have kids, so I'm going to ask you because I'm going to ask you because you have kids. So this is a good question for you. So for me, I look at it as a good thing, right? That kids have phones because, listen, you have to. That's the only way you can really. I think it's better because back in the day, my father couldn't reach me at school, and when I wanted to ask permission to do something or a question, see, that's where it's a good thing, right? And so you have, like, if anything goes wrong at school, Caddy's able to leave work and go pick up his son. You know, if the cops don't do it, you're getting into that school somehow, some way. I'm just saying, right? So
you got to keep your ass outside that school, get shot.
Yeah, right.
Right.
So we agree on that, and that's where I'm. Like I said, and another point you made, which was really good. Where did I get checked the most? It began at home, and it came back, and my father checked me at home.
Yes.
That's where it starts. It starts at home because he checked me, right? Rather, I'm not physically in the home. He checked me, so it was like, again, you bring it back to the nuclear family and home. So all what my father instilled in me brought me back home to him. Just like your kids, you're probably raising your kids so tight, so good, giving them enough rope to experiment, then giving them enough rope to then tighten up the rope to pull and be able to pull them back in because they're not that far out, which is great. So you know they're always going to come home and ask for that cavi advice.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. In order to change, the government can't change what happens in your home. That's why I put so much emphasis on nuclear families. I'm all about the nuclear. It starts there because we can't rely on the government to do anything. No one can tell another person what to do. And that's why I'm so hard strung on this baby mama. I don't want none of that. I wish they can that they can be a law if you can have a kid or not, all that sort of stuff. I wish they can tighten that up. Like if you have 3 kids by 3 different guys, you can't have any more kids. You're done. You're done. No. I don't think you're able to go. I don't think you should be able to go. My taxes are paying for it. The taxes are going up because I got to pay for that. I got to pay for your food stamps and stuff like that. So I wish there was a way we could pull it. So
phones. I'll go back to phones are very useful, as Lakeisha Cooper said, or Copper said in the comments. She said, "I track my kids by having a phone." Yeah, I just did that the other day. You know, I wanted to know where my kid was, and I could easily just hit locate my kid, and it showed me exact locations. You know, so you do have advantages of that. That is an advantage. However, if you talk to the teachers in the schools, the kids become some kids. I'm sorry, become so combative if the teacher tries to take their phone, because kids they have a lot of things in that phone. You know, they have a lot of apps that hide devious things that they're doing, so they don't want anyone to have access to their phone. That's their lifeline. It's kind of like a cheating man or a cheating woman, and they're asleep, and you've seen the little joking videos, and their significant other reaches over and grabs their phone and tries to unlock it. What the hell are you doing? That type of thing. So it's their lifeline. You know, so and that's a problem, you know. And like I said, if they're not putting these phones in like a lockbox or something like that, our kids' education has went down significantly because of phones. You know, so like I said, some type of regulation with it. I agree with you, Antoine. The nuclear family, is the number one most important thing. And I guess this is for another conversation, because, like Vic said, we're going to wrap it up. We got to figure out how to get that, you know, because as of right now, it's just not looking good as of right now. Can we agree on that? It just doesn't look like it's looking good right now.
You know,
I want to even touch on this. Like, I don't even think laptops should be allowed in school. I'm going to tell you why. Because I believe a teacher has more interaction with a student when they're writing it down on paper, or when they're writing it down physically. Their handwriting improves, their knowledge of thinking, because now you're not only thinking about what you want to write, you have to write it legible so everybody else can read it. There's more effort. When you and I was growing up, there was more effort put into the homework, because we had to make the sentence, we had to make it paragraph, we had to make it look neat, right? I didn't have AI to write my sentence for me. So now I'm thinking for myself. I have more common sense. I'm going to the library and pulling information. I even think they should police that if it was up to me. I don't think technology should be in schools like that. I think every kid should learn how to write. If you look at kids' handwriting today, I'm even my own brother's kids, and I'm looking like, that's a birthday card. Like, who wrote that? Like, that's an A. Like,
Yeah.
You know, IDK, I love you, with a big I, a big giant heart, and a U. And I'm like, you couldn't write out that word and make me feel special? Like, and they're using the sticker now. Everything is, gotta get that card out. And I just think that if we're gonna control it, I think nothing should enter schools' technology. I think the teachers should have that, how to process their homework faster. Everything should be a form of manual labor.
I agree. I agree. It should be significantly taken down. Yeah.
Yeah, until we got a better system of digestion, a better balance. I think that you can't take away the old stuff, because like you got people that don't know how to write cursive, so that means you probably can't read cursive writing. If you don't know how to sign a check, you know what I'm saying, that's an issue. You know, I do think that history and technology have to have a mesh point of why we do certain things of old and new, you know. Even the words that we choose are already old. And I've been saying this long before, you know, I was able to write books. I had to be able to read people. You feel what I'm saying? Like, how can you convey a story about human understanding? How can you paint a picture without understanding human emotion, without observing people to translate that to, you know what I'm saying, whether for me in the sense of being a writer, and you in the sense for being a painter, and all of us in the sense of being an orator and a speaker. You know what I'm saying? You have to have experience with observing people, reading people, not just looking at them, observing and reading people, understanding their behavior, and saying, you know what, I've seen it in this sense, and I've seen it in that sense. Because ultimately, as I wrap up, I'm bringing things back down to this right here. You're either disciplined or undisciplined, and that just determines how you absorb what you consume. Like we talked about rap music. The person that can understand and separate art and entertainment from reality has a different experience with certain types of art. You know what I'm saying? Like, Antoine, you get it. Cavi, you get it on your side. You know what I'm saying? Final chapter, you get it on your side. We're the people that understand that there's a separation between art and entertainment and reality. And I think all of us can agree with the fact that art imitates life and life imitates art. That's the cycle of everything that we complain about or embrace. So I do think there has to be a balance between the past and the present to understand what the future holds for everybody. And with that being said, you know, I want to also
wait. I got one thing to say.
You always got something to say. Come on, Antoine.
And this is because this is a solution that I have, and I want to run it by Cavi actually. Okay, and I want to run it by you too, and the gentleman final chapter. I think that when schools are built, they should have a jamming signal to stop it. And when when they put up those fences, that should be a jamming signal to stop that thing from going outside. And the only way you can use it is if your parents has a code that they have to type in to get to your phone. Or they have.
That's actually a good idea.
Don't they have that in the army that everything gets jammed? You can't just put a mic up and listen to what's happening on base. There's a jamming signal there. And I think that should be in school. And if you're a parent and your school goes there, you get the code.
Hey, you know what? I'm
and if you're on the playground, that whole fence is a jamming signal. If you're on the playground, that's where you play. That's where the kids are safe.
All right.
That's
well, then you agree with me then that another layer of
government
control.
Right.
You agree with me?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, final chapter. Before we get off of here, what do you want to leave us with? You got the floor.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, I just want to, thank you, Vic, for letting me come up, man. Like I said, I've been watching a few of the last few shows, and I'm enjoying the topics, and I hope to be able to come up again. I appreciate the different points of view, and I agree with probably about 90% of what Antoine is laying out. So I'm gonna just, admit to that. There's a few fine points that I disagree with, but that's how we all can improve, by talking, discussing different things. So I appreciate the opportunity for you having me up, man. And Cavi, it's nice meeting you too, brother.
Very nice meeting you, brother. I plan on seeing you more and more, man, because when you got brothers like us that think outside the box, that's what we need, brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Because I see some sisters on here commenting, and I've been telling Vic, yeah, you got to have the female side of it too, because they got a lot to say. they got a lot to say. So
I want them to be. Hey, look, ladies, if you're watching, get out the comments and get on camera.
Exactly. Click on that link.
In the chat. The fellas that's gotten on here, we appreciate it. But ladies, if you want your voice to be part of the conversation, you got to get on camera. That's just it. You got to be willing to make your voice heard outside of just being on social media, disagreeing or commenting just to comment. You know what I'm saying? If you want some equity and some consideration until you get on camera and get on one of these streams, you're just going to be in the comments. That's it.
Yeah.
So find a way to be more effective. I appreciate the people that have contributed to the conversation. And hey, I got a little bit of a surprise on the way out, and I'm gonna go ahead and play it now.
We rise together, brothers side by side. In this journey, we can let our pride defy. Lift each other up through the highs and lows. In this bond of strength, our unity grows. We got dreams to chase and goals to meet. In this circle of trust, we can't accept defeat. With love and respect, we build our legacy. Together we stand in accountable masculinity. Accountable masculinity. That's what we need to be the change, to plant the seed in every step, in every deed. Accountable masculinity, that's what we need.